Hello everyone, welcome to my book launch, and I am going to launch my book in the most unique way. I'm going to have a conversation with my baby sister. She was just born 1 month after me, and that makes me so connected to her. And that's why I gave my book first copy to read, and she has come up with questions which will help our viewers, our readers understand what is there in the book, what is the process that I went through as an author, and how did she feel as a reader.
Oh, I must say I felt very great, but I still have a few questions and she needs to answer those.
Yes, and the book is all about being authentic to yourself. It's about being courageously you, and it's about taking the courage to do things that are uncomfortable but that are necessary for your growth. And Rashi has taken the first step today. She has come in front of the camera for the first time,
Very first
and
time.
I am so proud of her. So, Rashi, let's start with the questions. Come on,
Okay.
what do you have?
So I'll take up a few questions and I'll go with the first one.
Okay.
First, tell me what is the thing that inspired you to write this book?
Okay, so when I started my life coaching journey, and I was the chairperson of social welfare and development that you know, I worked with a lot of people. I worked with 1600 volunteers. I had a team of 120 people. In life coaching, I get to see the depths of people's problem. When people come to me, it's not that I judge them on the basis of their external behavior. External behavior is just one thing. But
True.
when I go to the depths of it, that's when I understand there is a belief system. Young college students come to me saying that they have problems with procrastination, they have problems with self-doubt, they are facing this low self-esteem, and with this low self-esteem they get criticized by somebody for doing something, then they are not willing to do that thing for another time, and again they're always in this low energy vibrations
Absolutely.
where they're not being able to be authentic to themselves. And I have talked about self-esteem so much in the book, that how do you really build that self-esteem.
That helps.
And when you work for the things that really matter to you, that can create an impact in other person's life, your self-esteem increases, and your self-worth, that I am worthy of creating this impact, that increases. And that is why I wrote the book. People, please live a first-hand life of your experiences, not a second-hand life that is based on social comparisons. That's my
True.
inspiration.
Okay, so the title of the book is Courageously You.
Yes.
Why did you choose the title specifically, or what does it mean to you?
See, when I learned life coaching, I have always been an observer of human behavior. So I met people who are into coaching. They talk about unique brain designs. They talk about people's uniqueness. There are so many sciences, methodologies that tell you that you're born with certain natural characteristics. Now, speaking, talking to you and me, it comes very naturally.
True.
You are into a profession where you need to put your points across very effectively and very clearly. That's something that you were born with. Now, if I ask you to do something that is just because I ask you to work as a life coach because your sister is a life coach, and people now start forcing you, Rashi, become a life coach, she's doing this, how will you feel about it?
That doesn't work.
Is there any drive inside you that will take you to become a life coach right now?
No.
But there was a drive inside you that took ahead you to go and do your LLB, right?
Absolutely.
So there is a drive that makes us do something because we know the impact that it creates, it matters to somebody. And that takes courage. So it is about becoming you who you really are by being courageous about it. So that's why the book's name is Courageously You.
That's an absolute creative topic. Okay, my third question is, what is this book exactly about? Like, what have you given it? Okay, and for who is it? Like, what is the range of readers for whom you have written it?
It's very simple. It's for the people who want to live their life by their choices. And I'm not just saying that they are those stubborn personalities कि ये मेरी बात सही है तो मैं यही करूँगी. It's not about that. Living by your own choices, that means living by that big vision, big picture that is there in your head. And people do not take that first step because of fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of failure. There are hundreds of fears that I can talk about, and I have talked about these fears in the book. How do you really overcome them? And courage does not mean, risk taker does not mean that you just take a leap of faith and you let go of everything. That's not what I mean in the book. I am actually coaching people to take systematic steps, Now
Right.
you know that rejection is something that I'm always afraid of or I'm vulnerable to. So you prepare yourself for that situation.
For criticism.
For criticism, like for example, when people want to talk about building their own business, for example, entrepreneurship, and they talk this to their parents, and parents are like, you did this degree, you have this job.
Absolutely.
Now why this? Because parents are concerned about your security, and that they are not wrong at their part. But if you create a backup plan, okay, if you create some financial security for yourself, now who is stopping you to take action? So
No,
there are
absolutely
people
no.
who are having internal blocks. I have spoken about these blocks in the book, and that will give you the courage to take action, because that will give you a reason to take action. It will give you the security to take action. And many of the time, risk takers ignore security, and security lovers don't take risk. So it's about actually coming in the gray area. And I have spoken how courage is required in relationships. If you're not authentic in relationships, if you try to become somebody else just to impress somebody, or you don't have honest conversations, your relationships fail.
Fail, absolutely.
So all of that is there in the book.
Okay, I've read the whole book, okay?
Okay.
And I personally feel that the book acts as a sculpting tool.
Yeah.
It does, because there are many unnecessary traits that we carry. Might be fear, anxiety, might be stress, might be pressure. Apart from that, might be our confused behavior at this point of time related to
Exactly.
career, relations, anything else. And in between that, we lose who we actually are. Also, the society impacts.
Yeah.
So I think this book it's absolutely stunning how the book has helped people and how it is still helping people, the readers, to sculpt themselves and become the true selves. So I would love to give you an applause for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll just tell you how does it act as a sculpting
Yes.
tool, okay? Very scientifically, I will tell you this. Once you tell your mind what is important for you, and once you tell your mind that why am I a good writer, your mind will give you 100 reasons why you should write. I had a lot of self-doubt before writing the book. But when I asked my mind why shouldn't I write the book, there were 100 reasons that came up. That there are more
True,
experienced
true.
life coaches, this, that. But one reason that came up was that I have loved this journey of sculpting myself to find the authentic Rutuja, and I'm so proud of her for writing this book. And actually, it's a service. I'm not proud because of getting recognition of anything of that sort. But the moment I finished the last word, there were tears in my eyes. If you read my concluding note,
Yes.
I am asking people to
It's
actually
touching.
be inclusive, actually to take everybody together. That's my message to the world, that don't consider yourself as a separate being. I'm talking about a lot of individuality in the book, but these are the
Right,
two
right.
poles that you need to balance. You need to understand your unique individual talents so that you can serve the world. But if you
Absolutely.
just make it about me, self-esteem might get boosted a lot, but you will be separated
Leads
from
to
the whole.
overconfidence.
Yeah, you will be separated from the whole world. And what happens when you tell your mind that these are the things that are important for me? You really rewire your mind every time you take action for that cause. And now your mind only shows you, and it focuses your attention on things that will make that happen. Now what your mind is doing when there is self-doubt, all of that, it's listening to all the voices. So you said that unnecessary traits, the filter tells you that these traits are not yours. Confusion is not going to help you. So your mind will actually ask you to go and take decision making a course from somebody, or learn decision making from someone. If you feel confused, take mentorship, do something about your confusion.
True.
But it will not accept it as my trait. Right?
Right, absolutely.
So that's how you find your real you.
Okay, this is very interesting. But you said this is the very first book you have written and published by yourself.
Yes.
And I would like to ask you, as a first time attempter, how was the process of writing a book? Obviously, your experience with it, but how was the process that you went through? Did you read a lot first? Did you invent yourself every day? What was it?
So, the book might have come up now, but this process of observing human behavior is from the time immemorial. Like when I was born and I remember my first memory, I've always been like a observer of human behavior. And I always had a sense that it is not just about actions, there is something lying underneath. And when I worked with a lot of people in college, the interest went deeper. And when I started life coaching, I would write small pieces. Like, for example, today I went for a workshop where self-esteem was an issue. So I wrote solutions over self-esteem. So I was collecting these bits and pieces. But I went through a very difficult phase in my life when I was preparing for an exam. Okay, and I gave the exam. I performed terribly bad at it. I had worked really hard, but still I performed terribly bad at it. And after I came back home, my whole body went through a very different and a very traumatic experience. So all this while that I was preparing for my exams, I just have kept everything that I like. Okay, my courses, my work, my videos, my Instagram, everything aside. Not just surfing on Instagram. I create a lot of impact on Instagram. I create a lot of impact when I
There's a lot
take
of
life
content
coaching.
going on there.
Yeah, so I had just stopped. I felt like I had stopped living. I was solving my questions. I was doing my practice. But if you really ask me, did I enjoy the process? No. And I try to do that with sheer willpower. And this book, no willpower required. It was flowing. It was happening. So when I courageously do what is important for me, it starts flowing.
Right.
And you know what? I just whatever I had, the bits and pieces, I understood that few chapters can come out from this. It was lying all inside my heart. The seeds were growing, and it was time to now write it and actually help people, because it's not just me who goes through this. Okay. Before becoming a life coach or understanding what life coaching is, I have felt highly misunderstood in life. It's not because people around me cannot understand me. They can. We belong to a very loving family.
Absolutely.
Very caring family. Even you might have felt sometimes misunderstood, but it's because I was misunderstanding myself. It's not because of others.
True.
So this book came when I truly decided to take charge of my emotions and stand up for what I really care about and do things accordingly, because then it starts happening effortlessly. You are putting effort but doesn't feel like you're putting effort. Now today, the moment I finished writing the book, I felt that I was healed. I felt a healing journey. It was not a writing journey, it was a healing journey as an author. So just doing the things that you really care about. I won't just say because people say I like playing video games, I like eating all the junk food. So I can't say just because you like doing that, just keep on doing that. If you really get connected to your body, okay, your body will tell you, I like this food, I don't like this food, because after eating this junk I feel lethargic, and after having a bowl of something else, I feel lovely. So it's about building that connection with yourself. I think that's about it.
So writing this book was a great experience, but were there some challenges you faced in the
Yes.
publishing or maybe somewhere else?
Yes, I did face challenges, because first thing, I wanted to keep it a big secret. Because I wanted to surprise my parents, I wanted to surprise you people. You knew before some time. So that thing was difficult, because my brother, I'm always around him. So even I told him just after giving my first script to my publisher. So the challenges come in your way. The biggest challenges is your own self-doubt, that many of the time I thought why will people read this? Isn't this common sense? But then I thought, this was the book I needed to read after my setback. So that's why I wrote. And there will be people who will face setbacks. And when you are in your best times, okay, everything feels like common sense. You feel like you know everything. But when you're not in your best times, that is the time when you need to refine yourself and bounce back. And resilience is something that I have spoken in the book. And this book is a symbol of my own resilience to bounce back from setbacks.
Absolutely stunning. We can feel your positive energy right now, right here. And it's stunning.
Thank you so much.
The book, I have been through it, and it gives a breakdown of all your fears, self-esteem problems, fear of abandonment, okay? It breaks through everything, and it's a very step-by-step thing.
Yes.
So how did you go through that? How did you get those steps right? Was it your personal experience?
Yes, my personal experience has a big role to play in each and every chapter. Okay, so if you read the author's note, or in the beginning I have told that I have been to the both of the extremes. I have been to a place where I am feeling extremely lonely and separated, because I became very rational and logical about things, like this is what it is and I'm going to do what matters to me. And I have been on the very emotional side where I have pleased a lot of people. I had the fear of abandonment. I don't know where that fear comes from. There are many theories that do, but it is an insecurity inside of you.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that is something that you need to work on, but that happens only when life throws that particular situation at you. So when you're going through the chapters, I have just I made it in a logical flow, that I understand that self-esteem is a thing that you need to work on. After that, taking criticism or fear of rejection, you will be in a better position to handle. I've written a lot of stories as well. At some places,
Yeah.
I've shared my personal experience.
There are good quotations as well from movies as well.
Yes, from movies there are quotations, because while watching movies, sometimes I would resonate with the characters so much that I would get healed in the process of watching a movie. So I just wanted to create a similar experience for readers, that when they are reading this book, they go through a process of healing.
True.
Because the first chapter is about integrity. It is about creating alignment between your thought and in your action. And when that alignment comes, you feel from an unknown source
Yeah.
that you are being provided with this kind of energy. And that's how my faith also built a lot. It's not just I have faith in God or in faith in myself. I have faith in everything. Like, it's not just faith, illogical faith. I've understood how the nature works. This universe works, not completely, of course, that's a big exploration, but the basic laws, yes. So that's it.
So I would go to the very last question of mine.
Sure.
You have written a book, okay? And this is a very, very, very stunning book. Please do purchase it. But what is that one thing you would like to tell to all the readers?
I want to tell to all the readers that you are the creator of your life experience. You are the maker of your own destiny. No matter what situations throws at you and what you go through, if you're resilient enough and you have that perseverance to actually get back and again start working, and what meaning you give to that experience, okay? Like, for example, I talked about my setbacks, and I never knew this would become a rich knowledge to write a book. So this happened today. So you do not know where the dots will connect one day, right?
True.
So as Steve Jobs says, that the dots will connect backwards.
Backwards.
So take those systematic baby steps and go towards the things that really you care about and will create an impact in somebody's life. That is why it is a guide for change makers. It's about changing your own perspective. It's widening your perspective so that you can be of value addition to others. Otherwise, what's the meaning of
To
this life?
yourself first.
To yourself first, yes. Because unless your cup is full, you cannot give.
Yeah, obviously.
Right? That's always there. So it's about really making this life meaningful. It's how you give the meaning.
Okay, then with that, I would conclude my questions.
Thank you so much, Rashi.
It was great to be around you. And apart from all this interview, as a sister, I would like to tell that I'm really, really proud of her for writing this awesome and wonderful book. And it's actually helping me as well. So thank you so much.
Wow, is it true?
Yeah.
It was not an easy thing to do, of course, but I love the process. I am a risk taker at heart. I love challenges, but people around me are not so much of a risk takers. So, of course, I have to go through mixed opinions. I have to go through mixed feelings some of the times.
You take your criticism.
Yes,
I have a share of criticism.
I have a share of criticism, but I take that very positively, and everything is just fueling up my journey, and it is motivating me to do things. And now I have just stopped doing things for people. It is for my cause and my impact. It's about how I serve others. It's all about that. My life is all about that now. What about you, Rashi?
I think this has changed my life for good, and I think after this I'm taking risks.
Wow.
For good.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I'm so lucky to have her as my sister. We have very different mindsets,
Yeah.
but we have a great relationship, and
We match our wavelengths.
Yes, and people, sisters are actually compared in society, and people have very weird thing about
Very
bringing competition between sisters,
True.
and the society has failed at doing this. This is a proof of it,
Yeah.
and we're going to give more proofs.
Absolutely.
Right, right.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so see ya guys, I hope you would love to have that reading experience, the healing experience from this book. You'll find the link of this book in the description box. You can buy it from Amazon, and please let me know what did you feel while reading. I would love to know your responses.
Do share your ideas in the comment box.
Yes, thank you
And like
so
and subscribe.
much. Thank you. I forgot it. Bye bye.
Bye.